Hi, it's Erica again, and this week we're featuring desserts. Today I'm going to bring you a little taste of New England with a twist in the form of a white chocolate raspberry cheesecake flavored whoopie pie. So let's get to it. We're going to start off, we have 5 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese in our mixing bowl. To that we're going to add the rest of our wet ingredients, which consists of 3 eggs. Ooh, in it goes. A half a cup of shortening. A half cup milk, and a generous teaspoon of vanilla. We throw all that in our mixer, lock it in, set it down, and we'll start going. We want this to get all incorporated. And once we get a little bit smoother consistency out of it, we'll start adding our dry ingredients, which I have right here. Now our dry ingredients consist of 2 cups of flour, a cup of white chocolate mix. What that is actually the same thing as like hot chocolate mix, powdered hot chocolate, except it's a white chocolate variety. When I first came about developing this recipe, I wanted to use a powdered white chocolate similar to like a Dutch processed cocoa. Couldn't find it in my local grocer's aisle, so the closest I could come up with was this white chocolate mix, and so I built this recipe around it. Because this mix already has sugar in it, already has some milk solids in it, we'll cut back on those as far as the dry ingredients. But I did add a half cup of granulated sugar to this mix, as well as a teaspoon of baking soda. So, once our wet ingredients are pretty well mixed, I'm just going to start pouring this in slowly, let it all get incorporated. It's actually a pretty easy mix. I'll be the first to admit I'm not the world's best baker, so if I can do this, anybody can. So slowly we add it in, let it all work in. If I dump this all in at once, we'll just get this huge puff and make a big mess and go everywhere. So we try to do a little bit at a time, because I really don't like cleaning up floors either. So in it goes. We're almost done. Now I can see that my dough is a little bit thick right now. So, well, actually no, it's pretty good. You want the dough to be kind of on the, or the batter to be kind of on the thick side. Because when it comes time to bake it, it's not going to be in a baking pan. It's going to be on a cookie sheet, and we want them to rise, not spread. So by having it a little bit thicker, it'll keep it from oozing all over the place. Alright, I'm going to crank up the speed here just a little bit, make sure everything is nice and together. Looking pretty good. Alright, so that's about it for that. I'm going to open it up, let you take a look, see how thick this batter is. Ooh, got a little bit extra flour up here. So, as you can see, and we'll just work this little bit that fell off the top in with our spatula, but it is kind of thick, a little bit pasty. That's just how we want it. It'll hold up nicely while we are baking it, and we won't lose the shape, because we do want them to be like big cakey cookies when we're done. And we should be able to achieve that with this. So, now that we've got that done, pick up our mess here a little bit, get that out of the way. We're going to put them on our baking sheets. So what I have is a baking sheet with a parchment on it. You'll also want to use the parchment. This again will help keep the dough from spreading as it bakes. We want it to rise, not spread. And we're just going to take a nice big serving spoon and scoop out our dough. We don't want to go too big, because you end up making some giant cookies if you get too crazy. Just put them in like a nice round. You want them to kind of be equally sized, so that they'll match up nicely when you go to put them together with the filling. Just kind of round them out, smooth them off. That's all there is to it. We'll probably fit about 6 on the sheet. The batch in and of it, the dough batter in and of itself will probably make probably about a half a dozen, depending on the size. A little more if you go smaller, a little less if you go bigger. And then we have our oven preheated to 350 degrees. And once we get these all out, we're going to pop them in. And we're going to bake them for 15 to 20 minutes, or until they're done. You don't want them to get brown, because these are white chocolate, so we don't want to cook them too much. The way you can tell when they're done is to just reach in and give them a little pat on the top, and if it springs back, they're done. So we're going to pop this in the oven, and when I get back, we'll go ahead and start making the filling. Okay, now let's go ahead and make the filling. We start off with 8 ounces Philadelphia cream cheese in our mixing bowl, and we are going to beat that until it's smooth. Here I have about 3 ounces of white chocolate that I've melted in the microwave. And we're going to add that to our cream cheese. Plop it right in. Let that all mix together. To that, we're also going to add a cup of marshmallow cream. Voila, we'll pour that right in. In it goes. And then finally, we're going to add a cup and a half of non-dairy whipped topping. So I am going to turn this off to add that. It's getting a little bit crowded in this kind of a big container. So we're going to add that in. The final touch will be about a teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. So once I get that all in, I'll give it a little squeeze of our fresh lemon here. Just a bit. Add it in and let her mix. And once that's all incorporated, we should be able to start filling our whoopie pies. So I'll be back in a minute and we'll start doing that. Okay, we have our filling made. Our cakes are baked and thoroughly cooled, and we're ready to go ahead and start assembling. So we'll take one of our whoopie pie rounds, and what I have here is a jar of red raspberry jam, seedless, so that we don't get the seeds caught in our teeth when we eat them. Just going to give it a quick little stir, soften it up a bit, and we're going to spread the jam on the inside of our whoopie pie. Give it a nice coating of it. We really want to be able to taste that raspberry when we go to bite into these. Once we've got that done, we're going to take a scoop of our filling and just plop it right down on top. We need more than that. Another scoop. There we go. Okay. Got that done, that side. Clean it up a little bit, then put that down, we'll grab the other side, find one that's similar size, again with the jam on that side, give it a nice good spread, we're going to smoosh them together, and then we'll kind of gild the lily, so to speak. We'll give it a little roll and some graham cracker crumbs, because after all it is supposed to be cheesecake. And voila, there you have it. White chocolate, raspberry cheesecake whoopie pies. Till next week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.